Hello everyone, I am Naina Singh, Assistant Professor Sociology from the Department of Humanities at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. The aim of this module is to make you understand the concept of Purushartha and its types. So let's begin. Purushartha means Purush plus Arth. Purush means an individual or a person. Artha means meaning or objective or pursuit. The concept of Purushartha is the fundamental principle of the Indian social ethics. The word Purushartha implies attainments or life purposes. According to this concept, the aim of every person is to attain four noble ends or Purushartha. They are Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. These Purushartha govern the Hindu views of life. They are the guiding principles of life for the Hindu at all the stages of their development. The entire Hindu social organization is built on the foundation of the Purusharthas. The dominant interest of the Indian thought is in the highest value of human life. There are four values which give meaning to human life. The four Purusharthas are: the first one is Dharma, second is Artha, third is Kama, and fourth is Moksha. When you talk about Dharma, it is self-actualization, morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem-solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of the facts. When you talk about Kama, it's related to esteem, love, and belongingness. It could be self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, and equally respect by others. When you talk about Artha, it is the safety and physiological, security of the body, of employment, of the resources, of morality, of the family, of health, of prosperity, breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, excretion, etc. And finally is the Moksha that we call liberation. The four goals of the human beings under Purushartha are Artha, seeking security, Kama, enjoying pleasures of life, Dharma, careful living, and Moksha's liberation from all the above. Moksha means liberation. It deals with spiritual values. Dharma means righteousness of law or duty. It deals with the moral values. Artha means wealth and prosperity. It deals with economic values. Kama means pleasure. It deals with psychological values. When we compare Ved and Purushartha, Rigved talks about Dharma, Samved talks about Kama, Yajurved talks about Moksha, and Atharvaved talks about Artha. The term Dharma gathered more and more meaning down the ages, and it became a term of complex and varied meaning. For Dharma, the dictionary suggests the terms like virtue, righteousness, duty, right, morality, justice, good characteristics, tradition, ordinance, and law, etc. But Dharma is essentially a human value operating in the universe of human ideals. The word Dharma is derived from the Sanskrit root Dri, meaning to hold together, to sustain, to preserve. The Sanskrit word Dharma should not be equated with English word religion. Religion basically indicates a system of dogmas and a particular way of worshipping. Dharma is the living experience. It is the guiding principle of life, a complete rule of life. Now, the question arises, what does the Dharma hold together? It holds together the whole universe. Therefore, our Shastra says, Dharnat Dharm Itayu, means that which holds together, unites and removes separation, that is called Dharma. It is called Dharma because it holds together or sustains. It is essential for maintaining the sustainability and stability of the society. Dr. Radhakrishnan has pointed out every form of life every group of man has its own dharma. Dharma, which is the law of it begins. Dharma or virtue is conformity with the truth things. Adharma or vice is opposition to it. According to Mimamsa philosophy, dharma means moral code of conduct to be observed by all human beings in every sphere of their activity, and it holds good for all times. Dr. Radhakrishnan has pointed out every form of life, every group of men has its own dharma, which is the law of its beginning. Dharma or virtue is conformity with the truth of things. Adharma or vice is opposition to it. Mimamsa philosophy talks about as dharma means moral code of conduct to be observed by all human beings in every sphere of their activity, and it holds good for all times to come, or you can say it is the law of karma. According to Mahabharata, dharma is created for the well-being of all creation. All that is free from doing harm to any created being is essentially dharma. Thus, dharma protects all. It is capable of preserving the universe. Now, we will be concentrating on the types of dharma. There are 7 kinds of dharma and we call it Sapta Dharma. Sapta means 7. Kinds of dharma or Sapta Dharma are given by Manu. The first one is Samanya Dharma. Samanya Dharma consists of general rules and duties which are almost universal in nature. Example, truth, non-violence, control of senses, etc. The second is the Stri Dharma. Stri Dharma concerns with the duties, responsibilities and character of women. The third one is Dampatya Dharma. Dampatya Dharma is related to the duties of husband and wife towards each other, towards their family, children and to the larger society. The fourth one is Varna Dharma. It talks about the duties of different varnas, viz. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra towards each other and to the society. The next one is the Raj Dharma. Raj Dharma talks about the duties and responsibilities of a king. After this comes the Ashram Dharma. This refers to the rules relating to the different stages or ashrams in the life of a man, such as Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanprastha and Sannyas ashram. The last one is the Apad Dharma. This refers to the certain specific rules to be followed by the individuals when they are caught in a crisis or great critical situation. These rules would act as guides and help them to overcome or face the distressing situation without sacrificing dharma. Now, after dharma, the second Purushartha is the artha, or we call it the wealth. The term artha refers to the worldly prosperity such as wealth and power. It is acquiring wealth by honest means. A man is unable to conduct his life so long as the material means of living are not available without artha, or you can say wealth or money. No desire or no karma can be satisfied. Living means living well. It is not mere existence. Poverty is no ideal. Economic insecurity and individual attainment do not go together. Economic stability is the basis of social stability, individual advancement, and spiritual attainment. The pleasure of giving charity comes only when there is something to give. Hence, artha or wealth helps to sustain and enrich life. The importance of wealth in social life was fully realized by Kautilya, the author of Arthashastra. He says that wealth is a basis of human requirements and that social well-being depends ultimately on material prosperity. The next type of dharma is kama, or you can say pleasure or desire. Kama refers to the desire in the man for enjoyment and satisfaction of life of the senses. It refers to some of the innate desires and urges in men. It springs in human mind the moment one is born. Karma is equally important for the continuity of the society or siblings. It is the essence of life. With the passing time, desires increase. These desires influence and determine social action in many ways because physical and psychological satisfaction is very important. Karma does not mean only instinctive life. It involves sexual, emotional and aesthetic life as well. As it is the lowest manifestation, karma is referred also to our sexual drives. Now, the last is the moksha or the liberation, or we can say the spiritual freedom. Moksha, according to the Hindu thinkers, is the ultimate aim when the end of human actions is salvation or liberation from the bondage of this world. It is called moksha. When dharma becomes the absolute concept, it gets the name of moksha. It is the supreme aspiration of man. All our activities are directed towards the realization of this end. The Trivarga, Artha, Kama, Dharma are the means for the attainment of this supreme end. Moksha alone is called Chaturvarga. Through meditation, knowledge, devotion and correct action, moksha or salvation can be attained. With this, we conclude the video. I hope you have understood the meaning and definition of Purushartha and its types. Thanks for watching and listening this video.